just wanna love you. Okay, forward. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna share it. Discord.
Ledge root. Yeah, there is something extremely sus about this calculations here, but I think is I touching that will really affect the climb, the climb. So I'm very nervous, but at the same time, I think um I think it's better if we have a consistency for that. I
Um,
mean, the worst thing that can happen is just we completely discard these changes
s- s-
and and never
so
check it.
I think so. The very first problem is these the Z skill that we use in the climb, right? We cannot use that for the jumps because the scale warp goes from takeoff to landing. Right, that's the first thing. Um, so
Yeah.
if
So
I
again, David,
can you hear me?
what? Yeah, yeah. No, sorry, no, I didn't really get like. Wait a second. Let me stop Spotify. Yeah, sorry. Say again about takeoff and landing.
So okay, so the first thing to know is that when we calculate our Z scale, right, we calculate it for um the root movement from takeoff to hand plant. That is the Z scale that we're calculating. Because with the climbs, the way we do it is that we only want to scale one point, and that is from takeoff to hand plant or takeoff to land, whatever it is, right? Because we're saying at this point in time, my route needs to be here or wherever it is. Then that's basically hand offset minus the root in the position if there's hand, if not, just at the root position, right? Now, the problem we're having is when we do it this way for the hand plant and the vaults, because we don't just scale up to the point of the hand rest, we scale the entire way through. If we keep using that value doesn't isn't the same as saying, oh, how high is the wall I climb versus how high. It's basically that the scale we calculate is for the specific time between jump and hand plant to get it so the hand plant's at the wall height. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's which is why when if you do it for the entirety of the motion, it goes super high up because once our hands actually reach the wall, we know we're at the height that we want to be. We want the Z scale to then just be one, right? Because it's like, well, you're now at the height, do the exact motion of your
But that
but the
surely cannot be true because, like, so let's say that we got a scale of 2, okay, and the volt is pretty much a perfect parabola, right? It goes
mm-hmm,
like, up and like a projectile, right? We just scale the whole parabola. If you take the formula of the parabola, we scale like, ax squared plus bx plus c, right? Like we
mm-hmm,
scale just the b factor, right, by 2,
mm-hmm.
right? So like the parabola is twice as high, but it won't keep going up because like the parabola will go down. It just will go down a lot faster because it's you know the factor is 2, right? So I don't understand why that wouldn't work.
But it's because the root, because the reason why it doesn't work is because you gotta remember the scale that we calculate is to hand rest, not to the root height of the wall. So if I the scale value I'm gonna get is going to be huge compared to the actual scale of what the wall is. Because I could say during this motion my root needs to go up 2 times higher because the wall is 2 times higher. That's fine, but between takeoff and hand rest, in order to get my hand onto the wall, my root might actually need to do a lot more than 2 to be able to actually reach there. Like it's not like because we think the scale is across a range of time, right? We're saying scale from takeoff to landing 2 times, so you jump a wall that's 2 times higher, right? Now that's the root. The root will pass over the wall, right, perfectly fine. But that don't mean the hands will, because the hands might need to, like, they don't, like, again, it's one of those things we said, they don't know at which point, like, the hand should be at the wall at a certain point, but we don't account for that in the when we
Oh, we
scale.
did account for that, right?
No, yeah, but we can only account for it if we scale the specific part. Like, I can't, because the scale is over beyond the hand rest point, right? So, like, I'm scaling from takeoff to landing, not takeoff to hand rest, and I'm calculating my Z scale from takeoff to hand rest,
Yeah,
not
but
takeoff to landing.
but once you go into the hand rest, right? We cannot set the scale to 1 because it will instantaneously drop like to whatever it would have been before. So like
Yeah,
I
no, no,
think
no, no.
like
I know we can't set it to one. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't work like that. But like, what I'm saying is that, so basically, the issue is, like, okay, how do I put it? It's like, so if you think about this, right? So we do our scale, calculate our Z scale. If we calculate the perfect Z scale to for our hands to reach the wall at whatever point, right? So we say the hand offset Z scale, blah blah. Our hands are gonna be at the wall at that exact time in animation. That's perfect, right? So, which is like, okay, cool. When you jump, when your hands are planting, we know 100% they're gonna be at the hand plant point. The issue is we're then saying scale the rest of the motion by that value, but that's completely wrong,
yeah,
because when my hands are at the hand plant point, the scale is exactly correct. Like, it's like, oh, I just want to do the animation, then I don't want to scale more, like, because, and then any upwards thing of the movement is going to be scaled, which is wrong in theory, because I'm already at the point of, like, how to put it, my point of truth. Then anything above that is going to take it beyond. So, but then if we say scale the whole motion, like, how high is the whole motion moving by whatever value you want, that will allow it to look just fine. But your hands might have a slight, like, discrepancy between when they exactly plant, because we're not using the hand rest height as, like, our source of truth.
yeah, but that's not how the root modifier works, because the root modifiers, right? It constantly apply that scale over a period of time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like if the scale required, right, to go to that certain point is a scale of 2, then um like whatever is after that, it will it will be correct, because like it need to it need to keep going at the same rate in order to, because if up to that point the scale is 2, it cannot go instantaneously to 1, like
No, no, no. Yeah, no.
there's
I
that
know
moment
I know that. I know. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. That's why it doesn't work, because if we set it to 1, it won't land on the ground. Um, it'll land too high. But so what I'm saying is that the problem is we can't calculate the scale based off of takeoff to hand plant and apply it to the entire animation in terms of Z, like that, because the takeoff to hand plant scale will be more than just how much
yeah,
higher
but
is the wall that I'm jumping.
we don't calculate the scale takeoff to hand plant. We calculate what is the scale of the whole motion that it will bring the hand plant at that particular point. If we don't calculate based on a time interval, we calculate based on an interval at a specific time. So like if we just take the whole curve, right, the whole root motion curve, we just say how much we need to scale the whole curve, right,
Mm-hmm.
in order for that condition to be met. So wherever we apply um like like takeoff, landing, a quarter takeoff, a quarter, like, it doesn't matter, because that scale is a constant throughout the curve. It's just the big factor that they will bump up or down the parabola high enough to meet at that specific point. But the rest of the curve needs to be, well, the next of the formula needs to apply throughout the whole time, or otherwise you go uh, discontinuity, right?
No, yeah,
That
I,
everything that don't.
no,
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with that. So what I'm saying, we need to apply we can't change the Z scale throughout, right? Um, like that wouldn't work. But so, the thing is this, right? It's um, if we scale the whole motion based off a scale calculated so that the hands will reach this point at that time, right?
Mm.
If I continue to scale the rest of the animations, the actual curve will be beyond the thing, because my thing doesn't go up and then just down. It continues. It's like like you said, there's a trajectory. So if let me see if Paint is working, because let me share my screen, because I'm a bit because it's the reason why like it works for the climbs but doesn't work for the jumps. This logic. It's like can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So if we have our parabola here, right, and we say at this point here, my hands are on the wall, right, and then I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, well, scale the Z of this by whatever like amount, because I want the wall here is I want to be here, right? So scale it by like whatever, like this, right?
Yeah.
The issue is this um gap here, right, is will not be equal to this gap here.
Yeah, but that is correct because
It's
that
not
is
correct, because the reason why it's wrong is because if this is bigger than this, right,
yeah.
the
But yeah,
animation will look wrong, because I don't want to go higher over the wall, right? I want to get to the wall higher, but then my actual thing, I don't want to go whoop, like that.
yeah, but you cannot do that because the like the energy required, right, to go twice as high, it needs to be, it needs to be sustained and maintained throughout the whole movement. So
Yeah, yeah,
that
that's the
is physically correct. That if you put twice as much as effort, then of course you don't instantaneously lose that effort just because you reach the wall.
yeah, no,
The
that's
effort
but
will
that's what I'm saying
continue
is
following the
that's why it
parabola.
doesn't work though, because if we maintain that thing, the animation looks completely wrong, because I then pass over the wall with the end whatever the scale is, or way beyond the like actual the wall is, because then if the wall is here and I'm passing over, my root passes over here, it looks completely off. That's why I'm like that's what I'm saying is, if we do it the normal way of just say, oh, scale the Z by whatever the height of the wall actually is, right? So we know, okay, we're going over this thing there. That will work. That will look fine. But if we scale it by what we do now in terms of this scale here, it won't, because like we said here, like my hands will reach that point. That's all good. But then the additive scale above will make the animation look wrong, even though yes, because you're jumping higher, right? And that's correct. So you're putting more force into your jump, like it's
Yeah,
more like upwards force. That's correct. But I don't want more upward force once I've hit my hands on the wall, because my hands should just pass over. Like I don't want to then it pass over like, whoop, if that makes
yeah, but no,
like
but you cannot do that because you cannot instantaneously dissipate the extra force
yeah.
just because you
I'm that's what I'm saying. We can't do it. That's what I'm saying. We can't do it. Like not that I'm saying we should. I'm saying we can't do it this way because of this here.
But I don't know why is that a problem. I mean, it's mathematically correct, right?
I'll
So
show you because I had it set. I'll show you. It's a massive. It looks completely wrong, because like even for a crazy scale, the movement should look okay. But if I show you here, like the movement should look somewhat like, even if the scale is crazy, the movement doesn't look good. Like it looks wow, which like makes sense, but there's okay. I'll show you here, because when you vault, right, I want it to be that I jump more and then let go over the wall, and although it's like physically like correct, the animation looks cleaner than it me almost launching higher and shooting up way over the wall because I've done my scale to where my hands need to reach. Um, yeah, I'll show you here because yeah, it just it wouldn't be right because yeah, if I shoot higher to go up and over the wall because I say oh like my hands need to reach there so I need to add 10 plus more fours. It means then my curve over the wall is gonna be just completely like it won't match. It'll match the physics of the jump, but it won't match the what's it called? The actual way the animation works. Like I'll show you. I'll just show you what when we do it. I'll show what happens. Um, if we get rid of you, because I was debugging all these values yesterday, and they all made sense. They were all correct. The values didn't look wrong. Show you here. And so yeah, and so with the climbs, we don't do that continued arc over because I jump to a point and stay there. So I'm saying, oh, jump, grab on that
Yeah.
point. So you scale that motion to that point there. But the climbs, because I keep traveling, the issue is if I keep that scale going, my hands may reach that point in the curve, but anything beyond is going to be beyond the wall because the wall is at the hand point, which is correct because your actual motion is right. But in terms of the world and the animation, it looks wrong because you go whoop, boom, like way over the wall. And it's like, well, why would I do that? Like, you need to put more effort into the jump, not necessarily the actual carryover, which looks wrong because if you put more effort into the jump, you should come over more. But we're trying to adjust the jump so that it just looks like the jump is more effortful, but then it carries into the next bit like it wouldn't every other time, like perfectly over the wall. If I share my screen here,
But
because what I'm saying is that this
that
way won't
looks to
work. Like
me
this won't work.
like that looks to me like a problem of um that we are scaling the wrong thing rather than a problem with
Yeah,
scaling the
but that's what
motion.
I'm saying. We are scaling the wrong thing. We're scaling the because we're scaling from the to the hand point. So that scale is going to be so much higher than than just saying, oh, scale the whole motion by 1 point whatever. Because that's saying, okay, my root needs to go up and over something 1 point something higher, right? Which is like,
Mhm.
okay, then the motion will be just because then it's like if my wall, so if I know my root height reaches 1.5 and then I say the top of my root reaches whatever, make it so that the root goes over like that perfectly, right? Then it's like, okay, yeah, cool. The root will always pass over that point just fine. And so the jump looks fine. But you get that disconnect from the hand because the root, the hand will be at a point that it needs to be on the wall, but yeah, let me. So here. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, what do a cat pass? Let me do bench. So here, right?
Hmm.
Oh, sorry. So this we scale from takeoff to landing. Yeah.
Hmm.
So now when I do this, if you see, it's gonna go. Oh, I need to do. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
the
but that is a scale of 4 is completely wrong.
no 100% like it's too much, but that is for the to the handrest, right? Like,
Mhm.
but even with a crazy scale, the scale of 4 isn't wrong because if you look, the
No,
hands reach the point correctly, but so the height of the hands will reach that point correctly, but the additive motion will keep going crazy.
no, it can be a scale of 4. It means there is 4 times the. I mean, how high is
So
that
this
wall?
so this wall. So if you look at if we look at the values here, the root
Mm.
when the hand in the animation, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the animation itself, the root when hand is at rest is 20 centimeters high. The ledge,
No, no, but that is wrong. I mean, we need to take
that's not wrong.
the.
It's when the hand is at rest in the animation, the root is 20 centimeters high.
Yeah, but we cannot scale by that value. We need to scale about the difference of the the hand to root compared to the ledge high.
Yeah, but that's what I do. Well, I wasn't done explaining. So the
Okay.
the hand to the root in the animation, the root is 20. That's not what I'm scaling. I'm saying the root to hand is 20 centimeters high, right? Then the ledge root height at hand rest, which is the root to hand offset minus the ledge height, is 78. That's how high my root needs to be in regard to this wall in order to be at hand rest.
No, that's wrong. Like,
Uh, Because if my
how,
if when I rest my like no, if I when I rest my hands, right, when I
yeah,
rest my hands, the distance between my root and my hands is 60, right?
yeah, and how much is the wall?
The wall is like 138.
How can it be 60? I mean, that is way too low. What what is the hand height at rest?
So at 0.96, which is the rest, so here, so 29, hand height is 80, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then my root height is 20. So it's
Mm-hmm.
60, right? So that's the offset, right? It's because it's not the pelvis, remember, it's below. So the pelvis is like about a meter high. This is below the pelvis. So this is about 60, right?
Yeah.
So that offset is 60. So then we want to say, okay, when my hands are in that point, I need to be 60 below the wall, right?
When I'm under, uh,
My root, like, so now I need, so when I reach that point in the animation, for my hands to be
uh-huh,
perfectly there, I need my root
yeah.
to be whatever, like 60 below, right? Like the offset there below. That's where my root needs to be.
No, what's that? We needs to be, yeah, okay, it needs to be 60, right? Yeah.
Well, no, no, well,
So,
60 below whatever height this is, right? So it need because I want my hands to be there. So if my hands are there, that means my root needs to be whatever offset is below this thing. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah. So if my hands are there and my root is 60 below in the animation, then my hands will be here, my root will be 60 below whatever it is I'm wanting to do. Um Now in yeah, so in this case the wall before was 80 and then my root was at 20. Just fine. The wall here is 138, so then my root is going to be at like 78 or 80 or whatever it is. Um so yeah, so then it's going to be at this point here. But if my root height is 20 to then to 80, that is a scale of like 4 because the root height has moved such a small amount. So to get to the
Yeah,
upper bit in
no, but that is wrong because I mean the root could be like basically zero if it's very close to take off. So like you would multiply by 1,000. Right? That can be. That is completely wrong.
no, but it's like I'll show you here because if you see here, if the root reaches exact point. I'll show if I bring back the if I say okay, only scale from takeoff to hand rest, right? So scale from there to oh my goodness, oh for God's sake, scale from there to there, right? So from
Mhm.
takeoff to hand rest because because it won't be 1,000, right? So if my root if the wall is 0.9 higher, right here, and then my root moves 10, then I say, oh, my thing needs to move like because because this is what I'm saying. The problem is we're looking at the specific motion of the jump to the wall. Like how much does that need to move in order for my hands to be exactly at that point? So then if I bring this one back to 29 as well, you'll see that the hand always will always reach the wall height at that point. So then, because then, so this is what is going to happen where you scale the jump, but you don't scale the rest of the motion. So here, if I do it now, do you see how it perfect? The hands perfectly reach. Oh, wait, sorry, I have 4C debug on. So there at hand plant, I'm exactly at the wall height because it just that jump, that tiny jump in the animation to the and so the reason why that scale is so much is because that tiny jump is super short. Like you have a super short time to increase whatever distance you have. So the jump is happens over like half like a third of a second, right? To increase your wall height by whatever like 10 centimeters. So you need to do quite a bit more in order to get there. Like if you look here, this is it's I mean I got the force debug on, so it's gonna go forward through the wall. But if you time it anywhere right, the hand will actually pass on the wall perfectly. Now the reason a couple of things why this doesn't work. So also there this wall is a bit lower, so there it like passes over perfectly. Now obviously the issue is the character's flying because they're not on the floor, right? Because we stopped the scale. Um, which is why we can't necessarily use which is why we can't use that logic of just from thing to thing because we need to preserve the rest of the um and like you said like that it doesn't have so for some it's there's a lower scale um because I'm curious if I so this wall here what's crazy though is that this wall here looks extremely low like it's like waist height. How high is the wall that this guy jumps on? Like waist height. It's about 90 high. So if I bring in a box, It's actually really low. um, well, if I even yeah, so if I do this, yeah, yeah. So there, the Z scale is really low because that's. Oh, I've got the bloody. Oh, I've got root motion disabled. Let me see if I can just. Okay, so it jumps around something that high, which is like it's pretty low actually. Um, which is like this, right? So there we can adjust it because then from the jump to the actual hand plant, that small period of time, there's not much change. So now the issue is you can have significantly more change because so the way this is work with this, you'll never need IK in theory because the hand will always perfectly be at the wall and then pass over exactly how the wall wants to. But
Mhm.
there is a very short window of that. Like this scale here is like you have a very short window of adjustment, which means you can really deviate wall height wise fairly small. Like in terms of how much you're moving here. Um, does that make sense? I feel like I don't know if I'm.
No, I think this cannot work.
No, that's what I'm saying. It does not work. Like this is what My whole thing was that we cannot do it. This the way we're doing it now will not work. But
Well,
if I just do it based on the how high do I jump in the thing, how high do I jump in the whatever else, right? And I calculate my scale based on how high does the root need to move over whatever I need it to move over. That is much better. Like that will get it over the wall and whatnot. But there will be um look, I'll show you here. If we just do the jump height, right? Um so I mean okay, for now I'm just gonna no, it's not it's
so yeah, but that is just another number, right?
what is this?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
This
like, you think that this will work better?
this will work. I'll show you because this now because I think the issue we're doing is when we calculate our scale. If we're applying the scale across the like we need to calculate our scale across the whole motion, right?
Yeah.
But then the math we use has to be that we use across the whole motion, not like because the problem before this math was relevant between points A and B, so then they had a knock-on effects between points B and C. But if we calculate the math across points A and B, then we know across A and B it will look like how it should. Like so here. Um. So now I don't know if it's oh. What the ledge height divided by jump height? How can it be so? What? How can I be so much? What is the? Whoa! Hold on a minute. That's humongous. Oh, it's because so I scale for like a tiny like that. So do you see? So there it goes over the wall.
Yeah, but so what I don't understand is like It just works. It just needs another number, right?
Yeah. So now we need the So yeah. So the reason why it didn't work. So the reason why it didn't work for the climbs, right, was because when we scale the whole motion, because we want to land at a certain point at in time, but that we didn't. We needed to have the knowledge of where we were in the what's it called, in the world, because our hands needed to be at this point in time, and then we needed to transit. Like we then couldn't keep it going because we stop at the wall at this point. Like it's a jump to a static point basically. So that is our, because here we need to come back to our point before, so we can't just be like go to that static point and then come back down by whatever, because we need to the curve to be uniform. Um, Whereas the jump, it's like an arc, right? It's like I need the arc to end up at that point, so I can do those hand values and be precise with it, and then go and then do my whatever skew warp to be then the accuracy of this. So this here with a XY scale should in theory work,
Yeah, but I think
but it doesn't really.
the jump height doesn't take into account the. It only takes into account the climax. It doesn't take into account the
Yeah,
hand.
that's the, so
So
that's the problem. Like, so
yeah,
that was what I was saying. Like the using it between the takeoff and hand rest takes into account the hand, but doesn't take into account the climax. But using it between climax takes into account, okay, your climax is perfectly over the wall, but your hands may not be exactly at that point in that time, because there's two different ways of scaling the curve in order to match different points to different heights to the same height. Because I'm always
yeah, but
like,
my point is there must be a number that uh, gives us the hand at that position at the point, and that has to be the correct one because the rest of the motion will be consequential to that scale. Like he said, like if you go like to the wall, that is 172. Can you go in slow motion, right, and see how much it misses the hand misses the.
oh, I did a climb for God's sake.
I think that is another wall, right? Okay, this is 127. Okay, yeah, no, this is pretty much spot on.
So there, it's pretty like quite a bit, right? So if you see here, so there, do you see how it gets there in the end? Like it gets there because there isn't too much of a difference between the hand rest and the climax, right? Um, like there's actually not much of a actual like difference between the two. But if you see for something like this, right, that pass through going up is the discrepancy of.
Yeah, but that is the XY scale. That is all.
Yeah.
So okay, it looks to me that uh, so can you go into the way I calculate jump height? It's probably actually okay. I probably take into account the hand and everything. Yeah, okay. No,
Oh, you do.
that's
Okay.
actually correct. Yeah. So basically, we always had it correct. We didn't need to do anything.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah. So all we need to do is um. Well, okay. So you know all the code that I had like before when I had like in the jump manager, right? All that code is still valid because it takes into account if you're jumping or nothing and blah blah, right? So the only thing that we need to do is to yeah, exactly, like now, like if you do a normal jump it will screw up because I had some extra code to detect if it was a running jump from blah blah, right? So I think like all we have to do is that that offset there, right? We just need to calculate x and y, and we're done.
No, yeah, yeah. I just wonder because I'm wondering why the hell do I need to do any of the stuff we do for the climb up then? Like, why do we need to do this?
Yeah, that one. There is something weird about that calculation because
Like, why do we
that
need to
one
do it
is
then? That's what I'm curious about right now. Let me turn off IK quick because it looks as though it's working with just the jump height.
I mean, that is the jump height is approximately left and right, so we probably need to update it. But yeah, if you just do it like a straight, straight warp up, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, it's off. The IK was what was doing it. Oh yeah, because I only
But
scale.
the position is correct, right?
Oh, it's because I also I only scale. Um, no, it's completely it's wrong. It's here because I only scale um from takeoff to hand grab. So here I need to be at the wall, but that value is completely off. Is
Mm.
it?
Uh,
Let me check here. Yeah, it's wrong. That's off. It's too low.
I mean, it ends up correctly, right?
Yeah, it ends up correctly. But I have a skew open there. That's what's doing that. But the actual see, I should be grabbing the wall right there, right? But I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's because, like I said, like when we say, oh, the wall, your hand needs to go X higher, but is that from? Yeah, because the handrest height just tells us how high the wall we're climbing is, right? In basically, like the handrest height here is the same thing as just saying like my wall is X high, right? It's the exact same thing as
Yeah.
saying the wall here
Yeah.
is 100 meters high. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but if I'm saying here, oh, like your wall is 100 meters high, like you therefore need to do it X amount higher. Why? I wonder why though. Why does it go in the wall? Why doesn't it reach the point? Because this is just using the jump height. It's just below.
Can you can you print the difference between those two scale values and see what is the actual numerical difference between
Because it's off for
jump
quite a
height and
while
your
as well.
calculated one?
Yeah, let me. What was I doing here before? I was doing legendary height, a hand rest over. Um, yeah, because I don't do um jump height, so to speak. I do the root offsets, like how much the root should be higher. Um, so jump height here is that, and then earliest resting height. I think this might be the same thing. Um, Because obviously, if we could just use one of them, I'm happy. I'd rather that. But okay, so the earliest resting height and the jump height are the same. Okay, so we calculate the same values, right? So that
Yeah.
is the same as this, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the same as that. So don't necessarily need to do all this code here. But whatever. Um, okay, so that's the same as that. Now, the difference is in my scale, I do the lead, like I account for this here. This
Yeah.
earliest resting height minus root height. And then I take that off of the ledge I want to go to. And then I scale where my root is in my animation to where my root needs to be in the thing to perfectly reach that point, right? That's the way this does it, the way I do it here.
But can you print those two Z scales?
Oh yeah,
One
sure.
calculated with yours and one with, and see what's that difference? Yeah.
So one is
So
1.12, one is 1.39.
and that is the difference between when it goes much wrong.
Well, that's that difference between the hand being exactly at the wall and then the hand being just a little bit below. It seems.
Can you climb on that wall when they had the Z scale of 4? Yeah,
This
in
one.
that one. Yeah. See, why this is so wrong?
So see here, it says mine is saying that there's my climb Z scale is minus 0.03, right? Which means that it has to
Oh,
go down in order, like it can't just stay there. Yours is saying it just goes up or less. Mine is saying a negative scale, so
a
it
negative scale
jumps.
is wrong. Right?
Hmm.
A negative scale is wrong.
Yeah. How could it even get that? Hold on.
And scale 003 means just don't do anything.
So here. So I think in terms of your heights, right? Your but there just seems to be always. It's wrong. Like if you look at the actual heights, it's just like that looks wrong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, whereas the climb one is like if we change this around here, and I think it's negative because the offset from the root to the thing is greater than that. So here, yeah, the hand's perfectly at the wall. Obviously, the hands are in the wrist, by the way. So just make that mental note. So then in here, this, and if we're doing this wall here, it's just perfect. It's at the height of the wall. Like yeah, it's like exact. Same with this. Like there's a weird discrepancy that the jump height causes. Um, that the climb eliminates, and I have a
Yeah,
feeling
this
is
one is completely different, and this is why it was scaling as a factor of 4 because the math
yeah.
is completely off, right?
Well, thing is
Well, not
the math.
necessarily the math is off, but yeah, it was a different logic. But
There's a different logic, right? Yeah, but like
why
there's
is there a different logic? That's what I don't
that's what I'm
get.
curious about. Yeah, it's like so if I'm saying the wall is that much higher, so if here you
So
go,
for 003, how can that be 003? Like it means that basically ledge root height at rest is either very small or anim root height at grab is
well, it's
huge.
because this is negative. This becomes negative,
Yeah, but like
which
003, right? It's just a very small number, right?
oh, do you know what it is? The reason why is because when you grab the ledge, right, the root is below the distance from where your hands are to your feet, right, is
Mm-hmm.
actually okay. So the reason why this is more correct in theory is that this one is concerned particularly with the body being at the perfect place and time. This one seems like more concerned with the motion. So with this, it's like, well, at hand grab, for it to look be like the animation, my root would in theory be below the ground, like below my actual takeoff surface, right? If I was to be like, so then in because in so like if we look at, I don't even know what animation it's picking, whatever animation is it's doing at hand rest, right? If my wall is now here, right? When I
Mm-hmm.
rest my hands, the actual position of my um like character, if I want to pass over this wall and have it look like the animation, it should be below the surface, right? Which will give it a negative scale because the root from its position, like its actual origin point, needs to move down, in theory, right?
Well, no, I mean, but that is the whole point of scaling, right? You don't translate, you just scale, right? Like in like so I think we should never scale below 1 because that is impossible to achieve, right? Because we are only gonna flatten, like, let's say that the root is whatever number it is, right? Like, even a scale of 0, okay, which is basically is gonna destroy the universe, but like even with the scale of 0, like that offset between the hand and the root will always stay the same. So we cannot jump less than what we uh
No, but
like I mean no we can, but that difference will always be the difference between, right, the foot and the hand is always gonna be that number, whatever scale we do, because we are only scaling the motion of the root, right?
mm-hmm. But like
So if
the reason why we
so we
but we
can only
can though,
predict this
because
and
if
say,
but we can though as long as we know because if say the wall is up here, right, and then the wall I have now is less, right, then my scale is going to be less than 1. But if my takeoff motion goes up here and I say reduce it, so my takeoff motion goes here, as long
yeah,
as it's greater than what this is, although the motion is wrong, right, it's wrong, it looks fine. Like it you won't, because this is like extending how much we can push it, right? Like in terms of um
Yeah, but it will have the effect that it will basically jump with a negative gravity, right? Because it like the root will go up, right, and the hands will go down. Like a scale of less than one, it will have that weird effect because there is no way just by scaling uh, the root uh, the root position that um, that delta between hand and feet they're gonna change. That delta will always stay the same.
yeah. But then what I'm wondering is that even with a less than one scale, right? Like a 0.9 for example,
Yeah,
if that
probably you don't
delta,
know. Yeah,
yeah, like obviously like that delta there, like
yeah.
we have a less than one, the root, the hand will go up, like you said, like we said, the hands will always want to be that specific height above it, right? um
Mm-hmm.
so if say you're like, oh, jump thing before, like the hands will be like, well, with a thing of zero, right, for example, like where I don't go up, my hands are still going to try and reach a wall whatever height above me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
um Yeah, like you said, so a thing of zero, which means you have no upwards motion. My hands will still try and reach a wall of 90. A thing of 0.1, your hands will still try and reach a wall of what? Yeah, so and so that's the
Yeah.
difference, right? It's that my scale includes this delta to be like whatever what scale we do, we need to account for this delta in terms of preserve that delta. Like that delta is what we're moving up and down, not necessarily just the root. That makes sense.
So, like, can you work out the math that you are using there and see what is the actual logical difference between that math
So,
and our math?
so the math I'm using here. So you've done at hand rest, so 2029, right? Your the hand distance one is, we just say hand height. What is it here? Is 82. What is it in
Mm-hmm.
my world? It's whatever it is. Do that, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is the difference between the two? Jump. Now, that I think there is the problem in terms of we don't preserve that delta position of the character offset to the wall. So, um, my math says, okay, well, how high is the wall? It's this high here. Okay, well, how high? What's the difference between the wall and my root? Right. So I know that this is that animation point, like that animation delta, which is
Mm-hmm.
it's this high. Okay, well, take this point here, right? Almost layer it on top of the actual ledge we want to go to. So if I can just freaking, I'm gonna get techie with it. Hold on, because I'm also trying to do it for the stream as well, so they see what thought process is. But if I do, I'm gonna, I'm about to get techie with this. Where's paint? Paint whipping you out, man. Um, I can't see half my freaking. Can I unpin you, please? I can't even unpin. Okay, let's close you. Okay, so can I copy an image onto here? If I got you, can I paste an image here? I can, yeah. So if my things here and my wall, this is funny. And my wall is this high, right? Um, I take this value here basically. Oh no, so I calculate this offset here, right? And at takeoff, say I started at this point here, I have this value here, right? And then if I have the other guy here, same image, is now at this wall here, which the wall height is. So if I do like that, so now the ledge height is actually, let's do like this. Is actually this much, right? This here stays the same, and then I have this, right? So I scale these two, right,
Hmm. Yeah.
in order to preserve this here,
Yeah.
rather than scaling these two, because that doesn't preserve this.
Well, no, it's not that
Well,
it doesn't preserve. It's it will always preserve it, but it
yeah,
will be wrong.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. It'll have that. Yeah, I guess like that discontinuity to it because it is like okay, well, go, but we're not. Yeah, it doesn't because then the art could be like, well, like this, right? And then my hand could be here, and then it might move through. So for the climbs, because we have to be precise, it made sense to do like okay, we'll move this bit up because then I want to grab like I stop at the wall, right, and then I want to pull up and stay on the wall. So then my motion wants to follow what my animation does. So this jump, I need it to get to the grab point correctly. Now for the sorry. So um for the volts, on the other hand, um, which is why you can have, in theory, a negative scale. So say this is my normal one, right? And then if I bring it down to this one here, I can scale this over like this over this, and it'll bring it down. Although it'll look super stupid, the scale will work because it'll preserve this. And then when the reason why we got a negative one is when this value here is greater than this um well yeah, when this is basically like too low, so it's like here, so then this value here preserves it below that threshold. So the lowest it can ever be is if it's like doop like that. um
I don't think a negative scale will have. I mean, it will go down by being less than one, not by being negative.
yeah, no, it will go down 100%, but what I'm saying is once it gets into negative, it no, the arc goes down, but a negative scale will mean, in with my calculation, will mean that this route, in order to maintain this distance, will actually have to move like below the actual root point, like below the
But
ground. Yeah.
but that is the translation. It's not a scale.
Yeah.
Like a negative scale is exactly the same as the positive scale. It would just flip stuff around. Like if you want to move the root below the ground, then you need to translate.
Oh, that's why it doesn't. I'm not saying it does it. That's why we get weird values here of being negative. Um, it won't do that, but it will give us a negative value for the theoretical scale. Um, so yeah, so instead of doing that, it will just inverse whatever scale it does. So forward, it'll go backwards, and vice versa. Um, so here, right? So like, cause this is preserved, right? Is that like for the climbs it's fine because we preserve this and then we're like okay, well, you hit the wall, you stop at the wall, continue on to do your thing. Like we're just changing we're just changing the force of the jump to the grab point,
Mm.
not necessarily the actual arc of the whole thing. We're just changing this, like go to the right point, go to the right point. Not go to the right point and keep going. Because if we said, oh, follow the arc of the movement with that scale that we calculated before, we'd have the same issue of, oh, actually, let me delete this. So yeah, with the jumps, we want to be like, follow the right trajectory. Climbs, we want to just be like, go to the right point, right? But then if I kept this going, it would just be like, um, which I need to stop here. Like, this is all erroneous in terms of mathematically correct, but erroneous in terms of like visual. So I guess for the climbs, do we? Because do we do this preservation here? Because the thing is, it will work, but the jumps will. And the one good thing I guess about it is that the scale is the range of what you can actually pull by is a lot less. So it's not necessarily I'm saying, oh, the wall is 1.5 meters higher, so jump it. It's saying how much more am I actually going to have to jump up in order to get to that point? And you're going to have to jump up 1.5 more to get your hands onto the wall for the plant. Which kind of makes, which kind of makes sense. Because it's like, oh, if I've got 2 meters wall, it's not just everything go 2 meters higher. It's like, well, jump 2 meters higher, and then obviously there is that like carried momentum up, right? You don't just lose that velocity in real life. Like you keep that velocity from because you jumped higher. But but then in theory, if you have to jump 2 meters higher, you should be doing a completely different animation.
Like that, yeah, that is the thing, right? See, like the thing is that you kill the root motion, the root modifier, right? But you are basically stop, so you don't see any momentum changing because you say, well, yeah, I stopped there, right? With the jump, if you go from
4
2
to
to 1,
2 to
you
1,
just
you'll see a
like slowing down, right?
yeah, you'll see a.
But
But then could we have it so that in order to not see a momentum change, your scale just has to be fairly minimum? Like if I go away you, let me just play around. So if I did this, right, and this is gonna need us to play around in the anim cart switching. So here with jumps, we set up our first node, right, between so well, first let me this function here.
Actually, can you set the thing at just trying to get the climax, the gravity climax. Let's say like just take a point in the middle. It's probably after the actually if you go into the
So what are you saying here? So you want me to do what? Like
actually
in
let me okay, switch on my screen. I'm gonna tap it on my screen and then I'm gonna send it over. So so if you go into the anim cutter switching.
oh, you want
right?
to do it in the motion walk? Okay.
Yeah, like what I'm saying here, like if we go a jump, right? You go so take time is correct. So the duration is gonna be landing time minus no, okay, it's gonna be I'm gonna approximate it, right? Gravity climax time. Okay, just approximate and then I'll do it properly, right? If we do this, right? Now this will stop, right? This will stop the root modifier at the
Climax.
climax, right? And then with the Z calculation the uh, for the climb. Let's see how. I still don't understand why. Yeah, why it was so excessive. But
This will never reach the ground though.
hmm?
This won't ever reach. Let me make this change because I've got the other changes. Let me make this change in my code real quick. It's just. So what did you change? Just jump. It was just.
Gravity. No, like common parameter.
Oh, okay.
Gravity climax time. Now that could be before the 100K, so it could go wrong, but yeah,
Well, I guess we're just wanting
just
to move
wanna
the node, right? It's really just about that. Move the. And to be fair, we can actually I can just pull it around. So which one do you want us to use? Do you want me to use the Z scale climb, like my one, or
yeah, the Z scale climb, right?
okay?
So basically, I want to know if if interrupting the root modifiers after we reach the climax is like what is the effect of that on the motion, basically.
Well, I think even interrupted root modifiers a hand plant, if it's within the ranges that I do for the climb, I don't think it's gonna, or even less so, like 1.5 it below to 0.8 or something. I don't think we'll notice it,
Yeah,
because I mean,
this is
if
what I hope.
we'll notice it, but obviously it may not be the case. But if I, oh no,
Yeah.
hold on, need to re-elaborate you, matey.
Still like no, it still doesn't work on mine.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, we need to calculate to the correct one.
Ah, wait, hold on. Am I using the right scale? No, I don't think I am. Yeah, I'm not. I was like, what the hell? Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Ooh,
See, what is the scale there?
3.89. So
Right.
scale
So,
here is like 1.48, right?
but the thing that I don't still understand in all of this is, uh, if if we use jump scale, whatever value it is, was that one why that like the motion is correct and it goes over the obstacle, right? So why we cannot calculate that number? It looks to me those two numbers are vastly different.
Because here I get the vibe of it will plant the hand at the right point, but then it will just fly up over the wall.
Well, no, but like if you use the 127, right? It won't. It would just be okay, like we see,
Yeah,
right?
but it wouldn't have the accuracy that this is having, because in terms of hand plant, this is completely correct. Like
Ah,
visually,
okay,
it's
so yeah,
like if you see the point at which it plants his hand is dead correct, like
right.
perfectly correct. Like so much more. I don't know if you can. It's just like so much more so than the than the other one.
Okay,
The other
so
one felt like more of a parabola, but um, yeah, the other one was more of a parabola, but this one, yeah, if it well, it is a parabola still, but like up to the thing, it's accurate because I think it's that. But maybe. maybe the issue is because we're just manipulating the parabola in one way. Maybe that's why the jump height doesn't work. Maybe we need to manipulate it on two fronts, sort of like squash and stretch to get that point to be correct. I don't know.
Mm. Okay, but can you so okay, so what is the time that you are using to get the is that hand rest IK time? You just do a
Yeah, the
minimum.
earliest one. Yeah,
Alright, so can we get that in the what's the name? In the anime montage?
just set it at that time.
Yeah, set it at that time, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I had before. So if I do this, let me just calculate it real quick. How do I do it for the climbs? Ooh, I need to change this because this isn't as robust. This is actually mine. This isn't as robust as. Um, yeah, this isn't as robust as the other one. So, like this one here is far more robust. It's like, are both at rest? If both are at rest, this other one just like, which is the earliest? Um, do the warp to that point, which is not necessarily correct. Um,
Get
yeah,
that
because it.
into a function so we can
Yeah,
call it like, to
for,
get
for
that
now, I'm just
exact
gonna
time.
copy it. But yeah, we should really. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
let me just
Yeah,
let me.
just copy for now, but then just get function there. I mean the other things like for the jumps, like we don't want to do that for the running jumps. So
Yeah.
there is some extra setting there, but yeah.
Oh God, so I hate that it doesn't auto indent for me. What?
Oh, you know that if you press Control Alt L, it will auto align everything to the uh,
What?
yeah to
Why did
the
nobody
like
tell me?
proper.
Dad, do I blame you for that? Oh, don't tell me I'm going to mother trucker, dude. All right, let's do this. Grab you.
I'll just do a search and replace of candidate with that one.
How do I do a search or replace? I've not used this.
Uh, Control H. Yes, select that and you do. Like okay, I don't know if you have another right. Like can you do edit? Let's see what your hook is. Um, um, Find replace. Control R. You go Control R. Okay.
That is so much easier. My
And then you
God.
do params dot. No, I mean no. You got it the good way around. Just select candidate arrow.
Wait, hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Where am I at? Here. There.
Yes. Yeah. If you select the one and do Control R. Okay, and then the second one,
Oh.
params dot, and then we just and just do replace all.
Oh. Talk to me. Come on. Don't care about you, mate. Don't care about you either. Okay, don't care about you. Don't care about you. Okay. Then what was the auto align?
Um, I go to Control Alt L. Try. Okay.
Sexy, sexy, sexy. Sorry, Jacob. I've just not been looking at the messages. Are we having a play test today? Hopefully. That is the aim. What was Gunn saying about the menu? What's
Yeah, I
the
don't know. Like there is
What's
something like it doesn't really work well. The menu it's just weird.
what's the problems with it? I haven't even had a look at it.
Moving through the thing is still quite
Oh yeah, yeah. I
awkward.
should. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
And I think
Feel
we still
it.
got a couple of issues where at the start it gets into a strange state. I don't know. I can't really use this, so I think it's not worth it to expose it because if we set everything to high, or medium, that's it. Like we already improved the performance slightly. So the
Mm,
thing that I don't like about the menu is like, I mean, we go three options and two are completely useless. And one is
yeah.
play and one is exit. I mean,
Yeah. No, I agree.
I would just go straight into the setting menu, to be honest, right? That would be a lot better than just
Oh, I'll
doing.
just sack it off for now. We'll like clean it up. I feel like UI is one of those things where it's like, because I was thinking about with the dev, because I think what you're saying is for the backers to test things, but I also think it's important for them to test things that we don't know is wrong, like them, because then the feedback is just going to be like, oh, the menu doesn't work as that we know.
Exactly.
It's like it's just we're not getting much out of that, are we? The climbs suck. I know. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. What am I doing here? Okay, matey. So I need to do earliest resting time.
Just make sure that the die is not negative. But I don't know what happens if it's negative. Or can you do STD max 001 or whatever? Like,
Oh yeah.
actually, can you put that number into a single variable so we can change it for both?
Where is bad boy?
No, no, no. Like the duration is the same for the animal
Oh,
tangent.
got you, 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 got you.
Yeah, just do an STD
STD
max.
max. That would
I don't
do
know. Just
early.
give it like, I don't know, 0 1 maybe. I don't know, something that is not completely. Yeah, 0.
If it's negative, by the way, it doesn't go. Um, it just stays
It
at
doesn't
zero, I
go to
believe.
negative.
I
Yeah,
think I've tried
but
that
maybe we
before. I think I
crash
messed around with
everything.
it. But yeah, it's very wrong. Wait, actually, no, zero
Oh
one.
no, no, but you need to set it.
Yeah, I just I just realized. Was it Control OL?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It is. It's correct. It's just he fixed all the whole file. So yeah.
Oh,
Like, what I always do before I check in, all the files they have changed at the Control Alt L, and then it will just basically fix all the files for you.
that's so lovely. I love
Because
that
you
so
see
much.
now here it's go all the
Mm.
he gets the line to a proper length and blah
Length
blah.
and
It's
everything.
so
Oh,
easy.
so much nicer. What was I doing here? Oh, and even this stuff here. Um,
No, I mean yeah, just do
oh yeah,
mobile.
sorry. This minus. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I even named the bloody parameter of the thing.
No, no, no. That needs to be inside the max. Early resting time minus
Yeah,
that.
I just
Yeah, inside the
I'm being
max. Yeah.
blind as a bat. Minus this. There we go.
Well, no, now it's only more warp duration there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've changed it. Yeah. Sorry. It changes now. There we go. Okay.
And the other one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's try this. The hell is that? Is that warning? Skip by case level. What is that?
Oh, I have to give it a scope.
Ah, okay.
See, I'm learning and all. Old me, I wouldn't have had a clue what to do there. Now I'm like, I've had
That's
that
the
error
evil.
before.
Scope in a case is like, what, mate? What are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I need to re-elaborate. I'm just too eager. Elaborate you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you say where did you put the motion word? Yeah,
The
yeah.
world's smallest node.
But it's sort of like, this animation is really shit, right? I think this is 01, right? It was like, it was way
Is
before
it?
that. But that's okay.
No, it's not.
I know it's not 01? Okay.
Oh no,
Okay,
it
I
will
mean, no,
because I changed it, so
no,
I
it is
changed it to
01.
005, the minimum, the max.
Okay. Right, that's good. All right, let's
Oh, let's
try.
see. There's only one way to find out. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now don't get me wrong. So it's so 3.89. So now something like this, right, would just be like, we're not picking out animation ever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which like, yeah, because of because of that, it's too short and too thin. Whereas now this, I mean, that didn't look too bad already. So okay, so now the end is actually wrong because we don't bring it back down, right? But
It is?
that, that this has a scale of 1.48. Now you see, it doesn't. It's not going to land on the ground. I don't believe it does. What? How? No, it wouldn't. Why does it land on the ground?
Go into the big one and see if that is. Because I think like the next time he does the root motion, right? He will just do it. I say try that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's not on the ground. Is it? I can't
No.
see. Camera.
Yeah. Just move the camera out. Who's the guy that put the bloody camera in?
Yeah, that's not on the ground. There's weight. Yeah, it drops. Yeah,
Okay. That is like basically that scale of the
that's
ground, right?
scale offset. Well, so okay. Oh, here, hold on. Let me see a little something. Right. Let me try this out. What if? What if we did two Warpy McWalk faces, right? And we said, um, okay, well, we have to initialize both warps, but I'm thinking we have one warp to take it there, and then one warp to like. So like we have okay, so we have our two warps, right? One to the hand plant, and run one from the hand plant to the landing, right? One is gonna preserve that thing going to rest in your hands, and then the other one is gonna then preserve the general like climax and of the animation over the wall. Would that no? But then the
Yeah,
scale.
but that would be complete mess in terms of momentum. We would just do some catastrophic momentum changes. It would just do. I think like
Um,
we need to do only once. Like if we scale, it needs to be one, right?
yeah. Um, because they're right on a wall with a pretty low scale, right? Because I also find that the scale is impacted way worse when the root moves a tiny bit. Because then it's like, so for that animation, right, it's like your basically hands are on the wall by the time you jump. Like, basically, right? You have like
Yeah.
a third of a second to adjust your jump. Which, like, the thing is, like, when you actually think about that, though, it then also kind of it makes sense because if I have 0.25 seconds to adjust my jump, right, like, to actually adjust the height of my jump, I really shouldn't be able to jump that much higher, right? Because you don't have enough time to make the jump bigger to in like an actual like that 3 point. That's crazy, but that looks completely. I mean, obviously the feet don't land, and we don't have the right whatever. But I mean, let me do this other wall here. So there, so you see the doop down.
Even if it's like very small, right? Then we just have uh,
Because going up, even with this one, and because going up, there's a scale of 2, which is way too much already. Like we've clamped that out personally. Um, it should like really be like no more than like 1.8 or something. But a scale of 2, and you can tell the doop up a little bit. But like, and we don't do the XY right. So I mean, if I drop the wall a bit, let me.
yeah, but then at that point we will just use one scale, which approximately gets you there, right?
So what? So what is this? Oh, I only did the first 2. Yeah, for those ones, you don't really, you can hardly even tell really. And 1.69 is quite a bit personally. I think for jumps, you really got a limit between like 1.3 and 0.9. It's just going down for me is the um. I really want to do something quite rogue. I want to see what the momentum change would be like if we went and used then just the ledge height, the root thing. Oh, but it wouldn't be wrong. That can't work because that can't work because no, we can't use 2 different scales because then the takeoff isn't going to match. The root is going to be a different point than the jump height one. So it's going to think, oh, 1.7, the rest. It's like, well, 1.7 from where? It's going down, is the issue. Because we calculate. So this is an issue for the climbing because we end up higher, right? We don't have that problem of I need to then drop down. I end up where I'm going to. Like my hand grab is the target, is the landing point, so that problem doesn't happen. But with this, my takeoff is the landing point, so that needs to be preserved. Uh,
So okay, there is something that I still don't understand in all of this madness, though, which is um, did you convert all the jump animation?
no, just this one.
Okay, so right, what I go here, right? What I
Oh,
go
sorry,
here?
let me
Let me
look at your
check.
screen.
There you go. Right. Okay, so what I go here, like if you look at my screen, okay,
Yeah.
if I use the same scale, like like the crazy clamped thing, right? And they use the data from old animation, right? It's perfect, right? It's just the hands are exactly on the wall, right? This is like a sec. This is the wrong one. This is animation force anim one, okay? That one. See, like that is absolutely spot on, right? But if I elaborate this animation, it will screw up everything. So I wonder, like, what numbers did we change and why this works so well
This
with the
doesn't. This
crazy.
doesn't. But have you got IK on?
Yeah,
If you take that off, you'll see the error.
really?
Also, so what is your jump skill on clamp doing right now? Curiosity.
Yeah, yeah. Let me find
Yeah, there's
out.
a couple of things I need to
Let
see.
me
So,
find
like,
out.
what is your?
I mean, like, if I do no, actually, no. I got the off. Look, right. Let's do force anim in the 0, right? This one is an animation that I've just re-elaborated, right? So using the same code, right? Converted animation, non-converted animation, like crazy thing, okay, and animation not converted, perfect. So what
What
the
can I
hell is
see your
going on
jump
there?
scale unclamped function?
Yeah. They're both using jump scale and clamp.
No, but can you go into the function?
Yeah.
Scroll down. What? Z's. Oh no. So wait, what? Z scale is gonna be that, and then in your jump manager, start jump. Sorry, can I see that again?
All right. Let
Oh
me.
no, you do it differently. Oh wait, no. Z scale is good. Jump scale Z.
I mean, look, there is a printf here. I see the printf. All right. So this is which one is it? Go on. Z scale 082. Okay. All right. Now animation 0. Z scale 250. Right. How is it? He's
What
using the
the?
same math. Why is
Could
it
could
so different?
what? Could I see the animation 0 and animation 1? Can I see what the motion warping is doing?
Yeah. Animation 0. No, what's that? No, running campus. Animation 0. This.
And in the
Animation.
montage itself, sorry, in the montage itself, what is the node look? Is it just all across the hood? Okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
Animation 1 has and it has
So like in the montage itself, what is that?
we have this whole thing here.
What? That second motion warping node, though, what's that do?
No, that is a legacy thing.
Okay. What the? If you delete that node, will it change how it works?
So this is 2.5. 1. No.
What? The flying fuck. What? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Sus. Very sus. So, okay, wait, so let me look at my one, right? So,
Yeah.
I got my cat passes. If I take animation, I don't know what, like,
If you force use animation 1, right? Should be okay, right?
so this dude here, right?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
the X.
X and Y, probably X and Y though, like bonkers.
Oh,
What?
yeah. It's because I use the whole thing, so X and Y is going bonkers. Let me just hold on. Oof, I'm knackered. What?
Now he has that like slight over, like over
Yeah, but
thing.
at hand rest, it's at the right point. Like I'm looking at like when I get to hand rest, where is my hands? Oh, well, look a bit higher. But why is this so much less wrong than the other one?
Yeah, that was the thing that I was questioning at the very beginning, right? Like that scale there was like there is something about that offset of the root that is
So
uh
but this is correct. So if this is looking good, right?
yeah.
Okay, so let's look at this one here. So 0.69 it says. Yeah. And the whole motion is correct.
Yeah, because
And
it
we
does
use
only one. Yeah. But okay,
oh, but
now
question though. Is the is the earliest resting time greater than the takeoff sync time? Let's see here. One. Yeah. What the why is my code why does it what the hell is going on? So
can
it's
you
using this.
so okay, so elaborate that animation and see it going wrong, right? And then we can and then revert the changes and we find out what are those how those parameters change, right? For sure, that is gonna tell us something, right? Or you know what? It may just work as good as before, and I have very suspicious. Okay, try. Yeah.
What?
Okay. You know what? My suspicious is that um, it works, and it works the same principle as the climber works, and I think it's because if you look at the root and the hand, they are extremely similar. While in the other one, the root and the hand, they go a massive gap.
Oh, yeah. There is the reason why this works is because yeah, the root and the thing is like there's no difference. When
Yeah, but
hand plant happens,
mathematically, it doesn't make sense that this works so well, though.
what?
Or
But then
does it?
why would it be flying? Why does the other one fly up and then this one works like an absolute charmer? And let me make
Yeah.
sure the actual. I just said charmer. What the? Oh, it goes. It will goes to. This is just the jump to the thing.
Oh, that's even with the thing like severely limited, and you don't even see it.
Well, no, what? No, no, wait, no, no, no. Hold on. I with elaborated. I get what I know why it works. Elaborated, yeah, it works because of what we the calculations. That's fine. What's weird is why does it work when it's not elaborated? This will work perfectly now that it's elaborated because the calculations are correct. But the character will not land on the floor. It'll land in the air and drop down.
Yeah.
Like you see there, which is the issue. Obviously, this one you don't see it because it's at some
Yeah,
point it
but
just hits the.
yeah, when it less than one, you don't see it because the root will go down anyway.
So, so hold on. So with the current one we do right of the scale in terms of the hand, we know it gets it perfectly. The old one, the question is, if I take this out to landing, basically, I'm just gonna do it in the.
Yeah, yeah,
Actually, let me just doing here. Why not? Because I could just change it now, which is this is so much better. So I just change it one place. Sorry. Um, Now if I do this, I anticipate
yeah. It will work
it's
well. As I mean, it will work
no.
better because it will do exactly the same
This is
thing
gonna
as
work. This is gonna be
it
wrong.
wasn't.
This is gonna be very wrong now.
No, no,
You'll see.
that's gonna be exactly as before it was in process. It will be
No,
just a little bit higher, but that's it.
do you know, I have a feeling this is gonna fly up in the air.
No, no, it doesn't. I think it like. Can you check what is the difference between the root and the thing?
What? Oh yeah, because the root offset isn't much, is it? So if you see
Yeah,
here, the difference between the Z scale climb and the Z scale jump is super close.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's like 1.28. I see.
See, but we don't need really to have to stop the the scale at that point because here the motion is a lot more consistent
Yeah,
and the lands like that is a bonus
yeah. I mean,
point.
that solves the biggest problem. Like the yeah, it solves the landing, right?
Yeah, that was actually quite nice. It just touched the wall and then it looked like it reacted to the wall. So it really has. I don't know why, because mathematically it doesn't make much sense. But um, yeah. So the problem that this takes into account, right? So let's say that the root is exactly at zero, while when we have the hand on the wall, right? So there is no amount of scaling that will bring up the root. So is that thing then flawed because it will just like it will work only for a specific um time what interval range, but mathematically we should have something that works uh everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's why it's pissing me off that I can't. It's really annoying me that it's just not like, oh yeah, obviously.
See, because this is like we can ship this, right? like
Like it's very good. I mean, also if I just slap on a little bit of IK, what's gonna happen?
now if you like see what is the animation that does the crazy thing? Animation zero? Yeah, animation zero, right? That's the crazy thing, right?
Maybe, maybe not.
I mean, now you can even do X and Y, right? And it will probably be okay, right? I mean, the motion there looks very good.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit weird on the. What is happening at the end?
Why is it just halting the motion? That looked good. I'm guessing some of these have a really crazy XY scale. Hold on, let me check. Let me check, mate. The hell, mate? What's going on, mate? What are you on about, mate? What are you on about, mate? Okay, yeah, it's got an XY scale of like 0.13, and this one has one of 0. So yeah, that's very wrong. The motion is gonna be completely
Oh,
shit, right? Okay, so something like that.
yeah. Yeah, because we go from whatever scale to the problem that like going the x and y is just we go from whatever scale it is to exactly 1 when we land, while at 0 whatever scale the root z does, we know that the z landing it goes towards 0, so you won't see it because the motion will be already at 0, but on the x and y, it just is a very sharp. I wonder if we can get like
Why is it
if we
not
can
picking
get
up
like
that?
a fade off of the x and y going from
Well,
whatever it is to 1. Maybe that would just work. But yeah. But yeah. So like, if you do like, if you take uh animation number 0, okay, does it have that crazy scale? And that crazy scale is because the root motion is. The root is way too small, basically. And the numbers multiplies too quickly, right? Oh yeah, just
I don't
don't
think
do
it was
X and
0 that I
Y.
used. What one did I use? Um, I used bench.
But I
Just one,
mean,
25. 25.
can you elaborate? Well, okay. This one has the crazy scale.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
true. It is just a case of look if which Z scale value are we really concerned about? It's like, well, if because I think we even need to match. We need to choose which one we're trying to match. Are we trying to ensure that the climax passes over and then let the hand IK do extra work, or do we want to ensure that the hands reach the right point and then the um let the flow of the animation go over, so you put off higher and whatnot. think that's the because I think that's what the two are doing. Like one curve aligns the hand point with the wall point, and then the other curve aligns the climax with the ledge point. So which one do we think is more pivotal? Because
Yeah.
here, like, if we had a wall that it was in theory like a low Z scale, like this, okay, whatever, like over like this, right? It's wrong. Like 1.69 is, yeah, it's just wrong though, isn't it? It's just not very. Yeah, it just looks very wrong. Yeah. Oh, it's tough.
I'm I'm still wondering, right? Still wondering if the solution of this problem can be simplified to a single number, or we
That's what
can't.
I'm wondering. Can we just set one value? Can one number do it all?
Yeah, because mathematically there is one number that will satisfy the equation, right?
Theory, yeah. I think of the. But would that involve completely changing the arc of the jump, though? Like, drastically, no?
But like, so the only difference between the two things, like, that it will give us two different numbers, right? Like, the number for the climbs is drastically different from the number from the vaults, right? It looks like, right?
Yeah,
So
because one is giving us the my climax needs to reach that point. The other one's my hands need to reach that point, and then we preserve the momentum both ways. If you take the first one, the hands reach that point at the right time, but then it means you follow that trajectory of the hands. The other one, it means my climax reaches that point, but then my hands don't necessarily reach at the right time. So there's the two offsets because they're just two slightly different. Like, so I'm thinking one will be like, whoop, root. The other one would
but
be
when
like,
you go, when you do the climb up, the dive cut pass, like, climbers, right?
mm-hmm.
Surely that is exactly the same number of a normal
Well,
cut pass.
I do the jump. I only scale between jump and hand grab, and then I skew. And there's even so theoretically there's a momentum change there, right? But it looks
Yeah.
perfectly fine. um, so I do two different moves. I do a scale and then a skew, and then my skew pulls my feet to the wall with that motion. Um, but I
Ah,
only
okay.
scale from jump to hand
Yeah.
plant. That's the I have that one value I scale from that point. I don't have much
Right.
issue because I don't. I'm gonna okay. I have an idea. It's not gonna work. But I want to just do it so I don't lose my head about it. Um, I'm gonna. What time is it? 2:20. Okay, give me 2 minutes. I'm just gonna grab a drink quickly. I can do this. One second.
Yeah. Gonna do as well.
Proud friend said, "Yes, please." Okay. Oh, Dado has gone to grab some lunch. Okay. In the meantime, let's break the code. Break some code. So I'm gonna put some music on in the background and go into my pure code mode. Okay, so Hi Mara, how are you? How are you today? Welcome to the channel. We're currently breaking the vaults to fix them up again. Getting them working perfectly. The idea I had did not work. Shock. Oh. I know I didn't work. I know. Should have worked. It should have worked actually. Great. Awesome. So what brought you to the channel? How did you find out about us, about the game? Are you a backer? We are creating a game. Creating a game called Star Parkour. The aim is to create a really cool, fun, third person parkour. Sort of free roaming open world kind of game. Okay, the Z skill jump and I calculate in here is different to the one I calculate outside. So what do I do here? Let's try over jump height kind of literally. I'm not 5'7", bro. I'm literally 5'11". This is so crazy. This 5'7" nonsense needs to stop. You people need to. Oh, it's because I clamp it. I didn't even realize that I clamped the thing. I clamp it. Didn't realize I clamped it between 1 and 1.2. I was wondering what the hell is going on. It's absolutely. I don't even know where that nonsense, this blasphemy is coming from. Ooh, uh, look, look. I got people and flows in the backside. Oh, they maybe, maybe. None of this math is working for me. The math doesn't like what I'm trying to do. Mathematics is hard. I also have a great voice. That I've definitely heard people say. XY scale is completely wrong. A lot, basically. Those don't look correct. Just a chill stream. Basically, we've taken a very open approach, so to speak, to our dev style. We basically just show everyone exactly what we're doing a lot of the time. So you guys can see what we're doing, how we make the game, how we play the game, blah 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 blah. So yeah. Still just off. Still just completely off. This doesn't. You can't have two warps. It just doesn't really work. It just doesn't work how you'd want it to at all. You've got to have one warp. But which one we take, that is the question. That is the question. Yeah. Do you do any similar work like this, Mara? Do you do any dev stuff, 3DR? What do you do?
All right. Back from the past.
Buongiorno. Um,
Okay, so what do we think about all of this?
I basically, I think we need one scale, and we have to seemingly scale from takeoff to landing. I don't think we can just scale one thing because we need it to land. Now,
So, is the jump scale as it was before accurate enough?
I think so. That's what I'm about to do now. I'm just gonna be. I think so. IK can get the rest. We just need a proper filter. Yeah. Thing is though, with with the XY scale, it drastically helps it because it doesn't like overshoot, like over or undershoot. Well, it does, but obviously we'll filter out. But like it doesn't. I think the XY scale drastically helps it because yeah, it doesn't. 2 seconds. Let me answer this phone call. One second. That's funny as hell. Sorry, I'm back.
Yep.
I'm sorry. A friend of mine I helped with some code of his. He's getting me some perfume, and he was like, "Which one do you want?" I was like, "I trust you." So he's like, "I don't know," because works for a perfume set retailer. Um, and he was like, "Okay, we'll try this one." And he smelt it. And he's like, "Ah, actually, I want that." I was like, "Wait, what is it? Why'd
And
you
then
call me
number five.
that?" He's actually, "No, you can't have that one. That one's mine."
Once I was with a friend of mine. It's like extremely rich, like like in the scale of 1 to 10 rich is like 12 million rich, and we he wanted to buy some perfume for his wife, and the Harrods or Selfridges, like one of those fancy things, right? But we
Mhm.
would dress like shit, and so we go into the place there, and my friends say, "Can I have a perfume?" And the girl say, "Okay." I say, "Which one?" And I say, "That just point around the one." She said, "No, give me that one." And the girl said, "Well, look, this is like 250 pounds." And I say, "Yeah, sure, okay." Really, this is like 200. And then I think about for about 5 minutes. Yeah, but give it to me. Like, she didn't
Oh,
expect it at all. Like,
this that whole world is so gatekeepy. Like they have this thing like you have to because at the end of it, this is what I always found like with expensive stuff. Like there's a threshold where it's not about quality. It's just the fact that it's expensive. Like people will buy it purely because it's expensive and no other reason. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not that the quality is
right, yeah,
better. Sometimes the quality becomes worse
yeah,
as the more expensive it goes because then you're adding things that damage the quality in a attempt to make it more expensive. In that weird way, it's sort of like I add things that kind of compromise the fabric, compromise the materials, compromise the longevity in order to bump the price. Um, and yeah, like the whole like perfume and like items in certain shops, they just look at you. Like I remember I walked into a shop one time and it just looked at me so funny. I was like, I ain't gonna buy anything here, but don't look at me weird. Like, just let me look around at least. Let me. I was like, and that's when I was like, I just don't even want to shop at a place that doesn't look like they want you there. So I'm like, I'm alright. I don't
yeah.
want to wear your
I
things
know. I
anyway.
mean, I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
I would actually go there dressed like my absolute shittest, which is not very hard to do for me, right? And they really enjoy their faces thinking that, I was just, I don't know. But yeah, like the joy of like proving those people wrong. That is cool, right? It's like super mega fluid, right?
No, it really is. And obviously, we just clamp and filter out crappy ones, like crappy scales like this one, a scale of 0, scale of 2.31, and the X. We do it both for the X, Y, and the Z.
Yeah.
And then we should, hopefully. And then I don't know what's going on with the hand here, but it's not picking out nicely. So, but I'll actually fix that. It should hopefully, like even there, right? And that's a 1.72. That's pretty crazy. Like that,
Yeah,
that's
1.7.
2. Yeah, so like even it's like that one, just fine. That one, just fine. Like
Yeah.
there's something going a hand like here that it's not actually reaching towards the point, which is sus. But in general, like height wise is pretty spot on, and the Z wise, it does pull it forward so that it does hit that point as much as.
The only thing there, right, is when it's going the X and Y that is
To the hand rest, right?
extreme. The maybe ironically, like stopping the warping at the like contact point, it will help the X and Y is not like skewing forward like artificially. But for that one to be good, we will need to get all sort of tricks that I don't want to do. I think like it's a lot better to have just one value and just
Yeah, I
try
don't really
to
like
get
changing
one.
them either, or having separate
That's
warp nodes and all that stuff. It
yeah. But like
just
if we
seems.
set the XY scale maximum to I don't know what number, but so let's say 1.2 should be
I mean, all
enough
these,
for it. Yeah.
yeah, no, for sure, yeah. We have loads. Thing is, the sheer amount of cat passes we have is just ridiculous. And also, if the
Yeah.
hands actually went to the freaking wall, I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something highly suspect. Oh, I know what they're doing. It's because I changed some code in the client, but I did not bring it across the jumps. That's what's
What is
going on.
the no, I forgot the question. Oh, there was some question from the chat. I don't know if you answer
Oh
the
yeah,
chat.
yeah, I answered most. Oh hey Mara, I'm still a student. I've lost interest in stuff. Awesome, yeah. Basically, watch our stream to see me confused 95% of the time and know what I'm doing 2% of the time, and then begging Dado for mercy the remaining 3% of the time. We love streaming. Yeah, I mean,
So is this with the jump scale?
yeah, this is with the jump height scale. Not the climb scale.
Yeah, I think we should call it, right?
Yeah, I don't want to. We spent enough time. I mean, it looks pretty good. I'll be honest with you. And obviously we're using force debug, no filters, no clamps.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty good. Like question as well. Are we saying keep the in terms of the XY about try and find the one that takes the closest hand rest, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thing is, the XY
With the
looks
good
off. Like,
filter, right?
why does the XY look so off? I don't even know why it looks so off. It just doesn't.
Mm.
Like, it should be there right now, but it doesn't get there.
Oh, you know what? I think it's like maybe we should do it at the beginning of, or maybe we do it, but oh, and actually we take it in the middle of the 100K. But if you look at the 100K curve, right? Um, what we should really do is maybe that is something that we can afford to change. Like if we change only the leaf bone of this, so let's say that while we elaborating the animation, okay, we are into the X, like into the IK range. So those 4 5 frames, right? Can we say do not move the hand position?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we can. I mean, what I'll do is once we get the vaults working, I'm gonna do a whole overhaul of the hand AK and make sure the positions are set and all that are correct. The one thing I'm
No, no,
wondering
but I
is
mean
like,
like in the elaboration code, right? Should we just say the same way I like move
oh, the root, don't move the
the
hands.
yeah. No, don't move the hand. I mean, because the hand will stay exactly at the same position, hovering, right? Of the,
Hmm.
that bizarre.
Yeah.
It's basically the
Yeah.
same thing as a foot planting, but hand
Yeah.
planting, right?
Hand plant. No, yeah, I know what you mean. Okay. Let's get this work all working and we can play around with it. The one thing I'm just like, hmm, about is this XY just looks off. Just
But
doesn't.
does it look off because like it will take some, like if it's very big, right? Like, and the 100K is resting at, I don't know, let's say frame 30. So like frame 29, if X and Y is very big, it could be like 10, 20, 30 centimeters off because it's like such a large scale, right? This is
Yeah,
why I was
true.
saying if we stop the hand position throughout the whole hand rest time, it won't be as off. See there, like, see where, like, it goes to the exact point, but only when he actually, see there, right?
Yeah, but it's
I
so
think
off.
it's
Like it's
correct.
drastically like hand plant is like. Wait, let me see the actual frame the hand plant is on. Because I'm also
Mm.
like, why is it off? Because it don't the math wise it doesn't. So what frame is hand plant? 0.97. So it's just as it's taking off, it needs the hand plant.
No, are you sure?
Yeah,
No, that
0.97.
doesn't sound right.
Yeah, 0.97. Start resting time. Here.
Oh,
That's when
yeah,
the
but
hand.
where is the end, the resting time?
Yeah, but like the way I do my XY is when it starts the hand resting time, your hand should be by the wall.
Ah, when it
So
starts. Okay,
so
okay.
it's very weird that
Right.
that's just not even the case.
Mm,
So there's something going on
yeah.
with this XY that's just a little bit wrong. Um
Yeah, no, that's
now
correct. So if you take that time, the first frame, then it should really go there, right?
it should really go. That's what I mean. It
And
should
then
be
it
even if it
goes
needs to pull
after
it.
that, right?
Yeah, even if it needs to pull it to infinity and beyond, it should get there at that time. Now, why it doesn't?
Yeah,
Sus. I need to print out
yeah.
some of these. Let me do. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Now y'all thought I was finished, and when I bought that Aston Martin, y'all thought it was rented.
Oh, the Amazon people invited us in the podcast on the 2nd of March, 4 p.m.
Way. Awesome. That'd be sick. So what is it? What are we talking about? What's the vibe?
No idea. Yeah. So in the meantime, we can set up a short call to run you through what's expected, the format, rehearsal, and answer, and questions you may have.
Say again. Sorry.
I said, yeah, we got preliminary date as the March 2nd. It's a live thing, and then say, in the meantime, can we set up a short call to run you through what's expected, the format, rehearsals, and
I
answer
see.
any questions you may have? Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's quite cool. That'd be really. That'd be cool. Let's have a. We've
Yeah,
got to
no.
prep that though. get
Yeah,
haircuts and all.
it's gonna be hard for play for the
Yeah,
Macbeth.
that's it.
To be or not to be.
To be or not to be. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be cool.
This is the problem. No, this is the question or this is the problem? The question, right? No, I'm gonna say to be or not to
Ah,
be. To be or not to be.
wait.
This is the question. I thought it was this is the problem.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Route distance at hand rest. When the hand is at rest, how far have we travelled? Then we say route distance at hand rest minus the route distance at takeoff. How far have we travelled? Plus.
I go like this bullshit notification on LinkedIn, right? And like I don't understand, right? Startups that are looking for CEO. I mean, it's like how clueless you have to be to not to be the CEO of your own thing. I mean,
Startup wants
come
someone to
on.
own 100% of the company. It's like startup looking for idea. It's like, hey, we're a startup, but we don't have an idea yet. We need
Like,
you to
no,
figure that
serious,
out. It's like,
like,
yeah, but if I figure it out, why would it not just be my own startup? No, because you work for us.
yeah,
What?
I don't get it.
That's actually, I've never heard of that. Startup needs a CEO.
Oh, really? How bad can you possibly ever be?
Ooh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, the math, the math is mathing. Why are you not mathing math? Eating, controlling, trying to get me right. Okay, there's, you know, okay, let's put a thing on the Z. Um, let's do this. You need to go to the toilet. Rolling, they hating. All right, let's debug some stuff. I already go to the toilet. Okay, so Z, happy with. That's all good. That's all Gucci. Now, XY, you evil thing. Um, Why are you being the devil? Okay, you know what? I want to grab some food, and then when I'll be like an hour, and then we'll come back, and then we'll finish off this XY.
Perfecto. I'm gonna start cleaning up all the menus that Gans did. Like the UI, the menu. I'm basically gonna kill everything.
What was the
mercy.
what was the thing you said to check out?
So once we fix the jump, we are basically ready, right? At least for this intermediate release.
Yeah, basically, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Wait, so he's tried some stuff with the flow state. What is the flow state doing? I can't see. How do I trigger it? Is there a button or something?
Oh, there is a strange rumble when you like when you sprint. It's just quite annoying.
Oh, that might be what Guns was trying out. I don't know. I've not got latest. I don't get a rumble right now.
Okay, so that's probably okay. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go through the level blueprint and the character blueprint, and I'm just gonna kill anything sus. Well, say kill, just
Put my
disable.
old, yeah. All right, cool. Let me grab some food and I'll be back in a bit.